we had to make a choice. Basically, go into the fortress or die.
And what did
Like,
you choose?
well, we chose to go into the fortress. The reason being because as we saw this fortress and it came over the horizon, so did a Tarask and a Storm Dragon fighting.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
What are Tarasques anyway? I've forgotten what they are.
Think Magic the Gathering variant of a Godzilla.
Because whenever I think of Tarrasque, all I think of is the Tarrasque manager from fucking Deltarune.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's pretty much where I got to because I was talking about a couple other things. Have you heard much about my campaign?
I have not.
All right, I'll tell you. So, long story short, my character, with his wild surges, actually got teleported while preparing for the day, like, center himself, basically into an execution where I had then proceeded to get shot at. I got saved by someone doing a major fireball. Um, One of the other players grabs a ruby out of a statue. It gets broken and whatnot.
Hmm.
Um, and as we're basically escaping, we meet up at a bakery because I go to grab my bits and pieces while they're grabbing the thing. Um, one of the players steals a bit of bread. That comes into play at some point. It still hasn't yet.
I guess you could say he got bread.
I know what's going to happen eventually. I just don't know when. Um, Basically, from there we go to the circus
Hmm.
where we basically I walk up to the main the thing.
Yeah.
I literally call him Stumpy because he has lost a leg. Um,
That's ableist. You can't say that.
yeah, my character because he all of this he honestly thought it was just a fucking delusional dream.
Oh no.
Yeah, yeah, it got it like because he was having a nice, fine and dandy life before this happened, basically.
Bruh.
Like, then basically from there, I end up getting a little tiny mechanical bird that I slowly have upgraded.
Hmm.
Yep. I basically we then go. Then we are asked to go grab some things. Don't look and told not to look in the boxes.
And what do? You look in the goddamn box.
No, we did not.
No? I thought that'd be like the first thing that you do.
I wasn't the one doing it. I went and caused a distraction to make it easier for the person to just walk past. Like by burning their burning their brothel basically, and also making them think their stables is also on fire because they're like right next to each other. So I'm like, ooh, chaos. Um, then we end up having to put on a show,
Oh
through
no.
which we end up having to kill some nobles.
Oh. I bet that went well.
Oh no, they were what was in the boxes.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah. They basically got us to bring the. They went and captured some nobles, and then they got us to basically go and kill them.
Oh, so they
In a
basically, you are the proxy, you are the pawn here.
no, we're just at this point we are 100% willing participants.
You were dragged into it, and you're like, yeah, no, this is fine.
No, we were saved by these guys.
Uh,
These guys saved us
oh,
because the other two characters were um actually criminals. I just happened to get wrapped into it, but I have a interesting moral compass.
POV, you get drafted into like a crime syndicate. You're completely fine with it.
Yeah, pretty much. Um, and basically one of um one of the guy who got the ruby out is feeling really sick because I splattered him in the face with a rotten egg.
I can imagine you would be pretty pissed off at
Oh
that.
no, I wasn't pissed off. My character was just like la 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 la. Like basically, if I have a major wild search and I don't eat,
He was blissfully unaware.
no, my character basically, but more or less, he basically hadn't had anything to eat at that point. He basically was like la 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 because he goes, oh, I didn't think I'd, because honestly, the player was not doing a good job at being a player, like because he was asking questions that we couldn't tell whether or not he
Taking the
um
piss.
asking in character or out of character.
Oh, one of those players.
And basically, because we all thought he was asking in character, I go and splatter egg on his face.
Oh no.
And I make a joke because the fact that we got caught he got caught red-handed in what he was doing and all that. I called him a clown with egg on his face.
Uh,
Kind of seemed appropriate. Everybody but the player loved it. That player was also no longer playing.
oh, oh, sad
He,
moment.
mm, he wouldn't have been. He wouldn't have been a worthwhile player.
See, this is why you should
Um,
get me to join your games. I want to do some interesting stuff.
I haven't even gone to the most interesting stuff, but basically, um, I use fireworks to cause the distraction.
Oh, that always goes well.
It did.
It did. It actually went well.
Yep. And
Damn
and basically because I have a spell that allows me to basically teleport, I pretty much caught the other thing off with fake fire because I was like, look, I'm not gonna actually burn the second one if I don't have to. And I more or less then just teleported into a bush. Basically in front of the guards and everything too, by the way.
It's like, oh, I wonder what that is. Probably nothing.
Um,
It's probably Moist Critical that's in charge of the bloody guard.
nah. But maybe.
Maybe it's him. We
So
don't know.
obviously, I then when I get back, we then asked. I then talked to the cook, who I'm become friends with a bit. Um, then we are asked to put on a show. So the ranger puts on basically William Tell and a
Yeah.
generalized spinning person and shooting things. The William Tell went wonderfully. They missed like 5 or 6 times, in quotation marks. Missed.
Well, that
Meaning, yeah, basically they hit. They basically took out the kneecaps, all with a bow. Just they just. In, the thing is, it was because they were torturing them.
oh. Well, that seems like a
Yeah,
good reason.
they're also corrupt nobles.
How corrupt are we talking here? John Barilaro levels of corrupt?
John Bellaro wishes he was that corrupt.
He wishes he was.
Um. So, basically, they then the one with the thing basically just burns to death.
Hmm.
Oh no, he's having tons of fucking. Um, and basically, then it's my turn. I get a guillotine, and I intent quotation marks to teleport the guy from in the guillotine to out of the guillotine. Obviously, my intention was to flip him, like make him go all the way up and splat him down. Yeah, instead, basically, I walk out and my bird that I repaired and I'm thing basically does a few things and then tears into the back of him and whatnot. Um, basically, I'll cut to a bit more closer to the chase now that Tom's back here again. Doesn't need to hear all this again.
I
So,
can hear it. That's fine. I just need to make a note of something.
um,
I'm gonna send it to you, Jack, so I don't lose it.
okay. So basically, from there, we then take the bodies to the butcher.
This can only end well.
Yeah, we end up. Long story short, we end up feeding the nobles to the other nobles.
Oh. Oh no.
Yeah, basically in the process of going and picking, coming back from processing the nobles.
I like the term processing the nobles.
Yeah. Um. Turns out, Gilgamesh decides to use some fireworks to basically blow off the ringleader's other leg and escape.
Oh, I'm sure that went well.
Oh, it did. It ended up. It did for about 5 seconds, and well, see, basically had to do something to the character. The ruby that he stole corrupted him.
Oh. Oh
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
This is going from like bad to worse.
It really is. It really is.
It went downhill very quickly.
So basically, we then sneak the food in. All the chefs are basically on our side of the whole. Yeah. Would you like to see David's fish?
I would like to see his fish.
If you send me some pictures, I'll post them into Discord pics for you. Um. So basically, I spoke with the thing. I basically we unveiled when the cloche unveiled the heads because the heads were on the cloche. One was screaming, one was cheering and applauding, another one was making uncomfortable moaning. And they got an image of what happened. However, I changed myself and the ranger to myself, changed myself to the cleric, and I got an inkling on the fact that the ranger didn't like a certain person, so I changed the her visage into that person. So they killed their cleric. The other guy survived. Silver-tongued bastard.
Oh, of course.
And basically, I have my familiar mechanical bird just like plot tons of traps to try and keep people in, like cause more chaos and mayhem.
For goodness sake.
Um, and that's basically where me leaving the circus and go. Oh, we went and tried to get a cleric to try and fix the other guy, but he got. That's when that happened. That's right. I forgot that we went to try and get a cleric to heal him. We then used the cleric to help heal the legs. I also make new, really special official prosthetic legs. I get a couple of really sweet items.
What kind of sweet items?
Um, sorry, David was asking me something.
Ah,
Um, but yeah, basically that's kind of where I got up to. Then we got to the the snail was a racing snail that the other player decided they wanted to do snail racing, so they did that.
God, this really is a medieval shit show, isn't it? Snail racing and murdering nobles.
Trust me, it will be getting better very shortly. Because, but yeah, basically the snail ends up liking the ranger, and as
Oh.
basically ended up becoming their companion. The amount of damage this fucking snail does, my god! It has a charge attack. Basically, for every 5 feet of movement, it does an extra. It did an extra D8.
Damn.
Yeah. So, and as long as it could feasibly do the movement, it started from memory with 60 feet of movement. I say started because I'm going to explain a little bit more about that very shortly. Um,
Genome.
Genome?
Genome.
Like Giovanni?
No genome. Yeah, no genome install.
They have no gnomes. They have no genomes.
Apt
um,
install.
so yeah, so now we're back up to us getting funneled into the thing because I end up fighting we end up coming across a Tarask and a Storm Dragon fighting. So we hide inside the portcullis area just so then we're like, this particular building has taken that much of a beating. It might prevent us from getting injured in the crossfire, basically. When we get there, the doors open, almost inviting us in. Us wanting to not, be killed by the literal monster monsoon that's happening. We go inside. I decide I'm just gonna sit right down the thing because I'm like, that's not right. This place just freaks me out. I've come to the realization harm does not like ghosts.
Oh no. He should have called Ghostbusters.
Oh, trust me. There's a reason I'm gonna say that. Um, but that comes near the end. So the ranger slash rogue goes up to a bookcase they can see, and they look around in it. Cue combat.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah, basically we got some basic items, silver items, so that we could actually do damage. Because otherwise we wouldn't have been able to do a damage because they were undead. From my understanding.
Not if you punch them hard enough.
Yeah, we re-deaded them.
We sent them to the Shadow Realm.
So we fight these off. And basically, in the process, we've bumped the one of the things down, and we've opened up a path. Go through a few more rooms. After one of them had a note of remove the curse, blah blah blah. So we fight some more enemies, basically annihilating everything. And basically the second to last battle, I got a dragon sword. It's just a dragon lance, but a one-handed sword version. It's all the difference it is. Which is a simple homebrew, but there's a reason it's made in the way it's made. Because this sword, except when I roll shit, is really good.
Hmm.
I also now I'm like a battlesmith, so I have a +5 because I use my intelligence modifier instead of my strength modifier for anything. Like even if I got a bow, I use my intelligence modifier instead. As long as it's a magic weapon. Also, there's a ton of topazes. Like almost every weapon had topazes in it, for some reason.
Huh. Wonder why.
Yeah, considering I have done identify on them, and there is nothing about the topazes.
that you can detect.
Yeah, I've asked, and I've like obviously I've obviously gone okay, cool. So we have like 14 topazes for some reason right now. Like if we were to pop them out, we have 14 topazes. Which seems to be implied as to what we're doing with it, because I'm thinking he was trying to give us money. So we end up in this room, which has no thing. We defeat the enemies that were in there. We basically look around and go, "What else is there?" Oh, there's a bookshelf. This is after I received an item, which was called the Obsidian Orb of Wormling kind. Long story short, if I put it into an item, it engulfs the item in flames.
Oh.
This is relevant information for the story. Um, so I go have a look at the bookshelf. There's a couple of books written by Rasmodius, which is the guy who we're going to the other place to go to the library to see. So me knowing the person and thinking, oh, I've not seen these books before. I grabbed one. Nope, that was a secret passage. I go, okay, surely the other ones aren't a secret passage. Grab. It was a fucking iron golem behind another secret passage.
Well, that's fun. Good game. GG.
It hit me once. It took a third of my health.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Run. Immediately run.
Yeah. We defeated it, and
Uh,
so we go. Oh, what is the iron golem guarding? Basically, just another, literally two topazes and a scrap of paper that said turtle on it. It was in a chest, so the first time we actually go to a chest, guess what the other player thought about?
What did he do?
No, she, but
Oh,
what
she.
you want to know what the other player was definitely was 100% worried about?
What was it?
Oh, it was legitimately nothing. It was legitimately just a chest.
Oh.
But they acted like it was a mimic.
Oh.
So, being the guy, I'm like, surely the odds of this happening isn't going. Surely one of these books is special or something that we need. So I go and grab another one. Yeah, fun fact, that was the mimic.
Oh,
Yeah, we basically
been duped.
the snail basically then demolished the mimic. The final one was, let's put it this way, it was good I grabbed the particular book I grabbed last. Because it makes me friendly with all organic creatures. Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to attack the mimic had that happened.
Oh,
Yeah, so I basically end up snuggling up to the snail for like an hour. To which, because of the weirdness, I rolled a wild surge. Keep in mind, I roll wild surges constantly. Like I'm purposely like going, oh, let's roll them, and I'm only getting like dull things here and there for half the time. Mind you, this time, because of my basically all the snail understands is because I snuggled up to them for an hour, they suddenly had the ability to hit whatever they wanted next.
oh, of course.
Yep. So we go into the next room. There are basically wraiths in there.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, basically, to which I have, because I got another special weapon, the literally like in the first room, which I forgot that I got it in the first room, which is a rod that basically I can spend special, basically use one. It has 4 charges, and each charge counts as a spell slot. Like I can turn a level 1 spell and cast it like a cantrip using this rod. It basically just gives me an extra spell slot for it. Yeah, it 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 lowers. It doesn't actually make it so that I use an extra. Get lowers the spell by that many of the charges. I have a spell called Flock of Familiars. My um raven that creature clockwork raven thing is my familiar. I also have imbued into it a couple special runes that allow it to cast magic as a result. Yeah, I upcast it all the way to 9th level because I had a 5th level spell slot.
Nice.
Yeah, I then used Chaos Bolt basically on one of these wraiths and obliterated it because I summoned a total of like 10 familiars as a result. Because this spell is normally a level 2 spell. I technically use it out of 5 thing, but I only because I use the rod to make it go from a 9th level spell all the way down to a 5 level spell. Yeah. So we went to the one last place that there was, which was basically a. In the first room, there was another door. We didn't bother going into it until the very end. So we walk in. There's a council of ghosts
Oh,
hiding there.
what are
Yeah,
the ghosts
basically,
doing?
we had a long rest as well. So I had those 4 charges left. And in the time doing that, I also was tinkering, and basically I set it up so that the obsidian orb of wormling kind will slot itself in to Zeke, which is the name of my familiar, whenever it gets basically whenever it grows in a size class. So like the actual slot is technically too small for the orb. So then when it goes up a size class, it just slots itself in. engulfing him in flames. Yeah. Also, when you go up a size class, your dice attack goes up. So
Oh my-
I then did the same thing because I went, oh shit, ghosts. 10 extra familiars. I'm going to make you guys, I'm going to try this out. Turn them all into basically phoenixes, like clockwork phoenixes, and then had them dive bomb into the ghosts, obliterating the ghosts.
Man, that's a bit rude to just do that to a couple dead people.
Yep.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I have to share what I've just been doing on my computer. So, I'm running Linux inside my Windows computer.
Not bad.
It's built into Windows now. It's a function inside Windows.
It's actually good to hear they've put that there.
I installed XIs
Any particular reason?
because it's just available and it's there.
Fair enough.
It follows your mouse with it. Whatever you're doing.
It's like Bonzi Buddy.
But yeah, so
Install that.
So keep in mind we've got by this point about 4 platinum pieces worth of gold and all that, plus the silver, plus a couple other, like, mind you, on one of those wraiths that I told you about before, one of them had a special ring called the desire ring.
Get it? Because it's a ring?
No, it's basically there's a name. It's long story short, it grants you the wearer a one-time wish spell. It does, however, have a side effect. Anyone who uses this has their soul and life force sucked away. So you get your wish, but you die immediately.
Oh, well, that's a great device.
Yeah, I can circumvent it because I can just go like, oh, flock of familiars, and put one of one of the familiars and get a wish.
So literally sacrificing its souls just to keep it satiated.
No, I can only make the wish one time, sadly. Even if I do it that way.
Oh,
Basically,
it's not broken.
I can use a magical construct that will basically never exist ever again after I cancel this spell, even though I can make multiple copies of the thing. And I can circumvent the negative side effects of the wish spell. Keep in mind, I have basically I haven't told the rogue I got the ring because the entire time they were in there, every time the dragon got brought up, they just wanted to go swim in its blood.
Of course.
Well, thanks to one of the latest books, if you get dragon blood on you, things happen.
I would imagine they would.
Yeah, hence why my character noticed this and was like, "Yeah, I don't think not letting them know that this thing exists is a wise move." I've just yeah, so we end up having a special hydroponics thing that basically, long story short, the whole reason the castle couldn't be penetrated by Peglin's forces is because Peglins are cunt, and they just legitimately were doing it for the betterment of society. So basically, there's this hydroponic system in there that will help feed the poor. Basically, he would have misused it. It's the only hydroponic system actually in existence. Basically, it's using glyph of warding and shit to power the cycle and shit like that. Um, so this now he absolutely loves lettuces. I wish I've already explained. I
I've
genuinely
got no
wish.
dishes, by the way.
I
I don't know.
genuinely. I, I have said that I genuinely wish that the snail liked cabbages, because then we could do the whole cabbage salesman gag of our own. We could just have the lettuce salesman. But
He
anyway,
doesn't eat as well.
yeah. Oh no, my lettuces. Doesn't quite work. Anyway, so it it's basically the ranger gives the snail some lettuces that are in this bag. There was basically 10 pounds of lettuce in there. She ends up giving the snail 4 pounds of lettuce. Yeah, this lettuce is no ordinary lettuce. Basically, after eating the lettuce, it went because it already had a boost because it had a special saddle. Um, but basically, after eating this lettuce, it ended up having a base speed of 100.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Yeah,
Oh no.
yeah, it gets better because it ends up eating another 2 carrots because you basically each for some this is exploitable as fuck. I'm not going to. This is like literally the only time I'm utilizing the thing. But his armor class got higher and a couple other things. Um, as well as faster. So obviously, us having not eaten for the last couple of days properly, we have some fresh food, not understanding what it's done to the thing because we don't actively see it right off the bat yet. So we eat a couple carrots and a lettuce each, and we suddenly are faster. So I now have a 40 foot walking speed. I have an extra point of armor class, an extra like couple things to my health. So we then decide to go outside. Like, oh, because we've basically been given the deed. We got the deed and everything to the fort. It was the whole reason why we got railroaded in there, so he could give us a fort and our base of operations.
Yep.
So we walk out, and as we walk out, we see um Peglin's men carrying the storm dragon. We wait till they go past. Um, so to then go and see if they left any parts, or, like any, because even a singular skull is worth so much to a wizard. There was about 4 liters of a dragon's blood on the ground, to which the rogue and the snail then bathed in and covered me in.
Oh.
I now have ice cold breath
Good job.
and scales.
Oh no.
Well, not tech. I have a higher armor class, but yes, I basically got scales. Um, some extra health, and frost breath. Oh, and we can fly as the power once per day for an hour. The snail, on the other hand, can fly non-stop. and its speed is now 120 feet per walking speed. It is a super fast flying snail.
God, I've got the
Me,
Apple logo. Sorry. And
um, so basically, because I got covered in the dragon's blood, I wild surged.
shit.
Yeah, basically because we had a time in between, we had a bit of a break between getting covered in the blood and whatnot, and because we went and grabbed a drink. I said, look, if I surge, I'm surging 3 times. Yeah, it turns out I was surging 5. I was surging a total of 8 times. Yeah, yeah. Because guess what? I fell onto that wild surge table.
Well,
Yeah, basically, we became briefly vulnerable to thunder. Um, then the next thing I touched, uh, would turn to gold. Uh, then nothing, then nothing, then nothing. Um, and then something that, well, it wasn't really that much of a thing. Basically, my character looks at himself and goes, look, and starts looking around like, thinking, I don't want to touch anyone in case I've got a curse or something on me now. Thinking, because there were several, I could feel the surge coming, but then nothing. Like a weird sneeze. So then my character notices a giant boulder, doesn't he? He touches the giant boulder.
and then what happens?
It turned to gold. It was 400 pounds worth of gold.
Oh, you've gotten Midas touched. Nice.
It was only the next thing I touched.
Oh,
So my character's like, oh shit, I could curse the next thing I touch. I better make sure it's something not really that worthwhile. To basically, what I end up doing is I then use Flock of Familiars to shrink the 400 pounds worth of gold into something I can just carry back to the
what?
to
Wait,
the,
wait, wait, wait.
to
If
the
you shrink,
fortress.
wait, if you shrink it, will it have the exact same weight as the boulder?
No, D&D
No.
doesn't work. They don't keep the same. It changes the weight class and everything. Like there's a whole weird thing to it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that would be hilarious. You shrink it down to size and you can't lift it.
Like if it's, let's put it this way, if it's something that is currently in motion or something like that. So like if it was already, if like let's say I did that and then I threw threw it and then I dispelled this magic on it, it would still go, it would then become basically a fucking meteorite as a result.
Wait, 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 wait. This magic changes everything. You could essentially have boulders, shrink them down to size, keep their weight value, and use them as shrapnel shells, firing them out of cannons.
Or I can or I can literally shrink giant boulders down to about 5 inches in diameter, put a specialized glyph of warding onto it, and then give them to people with slingshots. They will sling it, and then basically have it set so that 5 seconds after this has been straight out of a sling.
Yeah, it turns back to
It
its
can't.
original
It
size.
uses the spell magic on it. So essentially, do exactly that. Now, keep in mind, I know what I can do. I also know what I also have not done things even though I could. Because keep in mind, if I really went buck wild with all of this, I could really do some interesting damage, kind of thing. So we take the gold back because at this point I've given up on even trying to collect the dragon's blood because the snail and the ranger have just bathed in it. Because I wanted to keep because at the very least it was dragon's blood, which means I could theoretically sell it or use it in a spell or something. So I then give up. Keep in mind, this thing was fighting a Tarask. The Tarask was 100% eaten parts of the Storm Dragon. Thanks to Fizzbans, basically, if you kill a dragon, you get more. You get more powerful. Heck, even bathing in its blood, you get more powerful.
Hmm.
Yep. So that Tarask is basically now a Storm Dragon Tarask.
Well,
With the ability to fly, because if we got the ability to fly, I can only assume it got the ability to fly. So after we've done all that, we then start heading towards the thing on this rocketing fast snail. Like basically a 2 days walk, simply because the base speed has more basically doubled. It's like a day to get there, if that. So we end up stopping at a tavern on the way. There's a goblin fighting a dog over a bone. I basically I go.
oh, someone's phone.
Yeah, that's fine.
We've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty.
Such a stupid scam. Uh,
I know, and people fall for it still.
yeah. What the hell is the game I'm looking for? D?
Deets nuts?
Oh,
Why does an i4 engine need a i6 carburetor?
yes.
Yes.
So basically, I see this goblin kind of, like I said, fighting the dog over a bone, and like it's a sentient creature. It's a creature that has its own thing. Yes, they're a little barbaric, but I basically buy myself, the ranger, and then the goblin, a basically a roast mutton plate
Thing.
each. I basically put down a gold coin, and they go, "Oh, do you want any of the ladies?" Because there were ladies there. I'm like, "No, not today." Basically, I'm trying to do my bit to bring some prosperity around because there's not a lot because of Peglin,
Who's
and I have
Peglin?
them the BBEG kind of. For all I know, he's a fucking puppet. Fucking seems that way based on the quite a few things. But currently, he's the BBEG. Um, and I offer the goblet. He goes, "Oh, what's with the kindness? Like, look, you're clearly hungry. Eat." And I go to eat and I just start eating my food. He goes, "Oh, such a kindness." Like, basically, I slip in the code of like about how what do we do to what are we going to show Peglin and his men? What it's like to live and die in in the gutters. So I basically slipped that code phrase in just to see if he was one of us, basically. Yeah, he was. Turns out, um, we had been gone for 9 months. There was a time dilation happening as a result of being in the fortress.
Oh no.
Yeah, something that should have taken us maybe 4 days has taken us 9 months because of it.
Oh,
The Tarask and the Storm Dragon were fighting for almost 9 months.
oh dear. That's that's not good.
Yeah, so essentially we had been missing for 9 months. Um, and of clearly, uh, we were doing this and like clearly we wanted so basically we said, look, let Urkley know and all that. He gave us a ticket to the circus, which is Urkley's way of contacting us at the moment. Um, he then tells us about the fact that Gilgamesh, who is the NPC that was originally a PC, um, has started a elite force called the Black Feathers. So we get notified about this. So what we do is we then go, oh, okay, things are a little more dire than we thought, and we literally just shoot off using the fact that the snail can fly. This goblin was just talking to us. Suddenly, we're on this snail, flying away, and basically get to around dusk, and we see that Peglin's men have set up things. D&D, something you're not interested in. No, actually, I'm glad. I would love to share the story I'm sharing.
You don't need to. I've had majority of it.
Um. So
Indirectly.
yeah, I know. I can see. So basically, I use older self just to shift my face a bit so that I can just walk in. I also stow my familiar into my bag of holding and the dragon sword and get out just a basic cheap sword in comparison. So I can basically I noticed that they're asking for wizards and druids and that on signs and pieces of paper. So I make myself look as little like a wizard as possible. Um, and then we go in. I then go to check out my old house, like my old flat, basically. Yeah, it had been ransacked,
That's not
and
good.
yeah, I am now 100% a fugitive.
Oh.
Oh, I killed it.
Um, what were you playing anyway? Oh, Dwarf Fortress.
I was playing Stone Sense, but anyway.
Ah, okay.
Stone
Um,
Sense is what crashed it. Um,
fair enough. So we go into the library because basically we get stopped by a soldier, and I just pretend to be my own relative. to get as much information as possible to try and figure out what was going on. And also, it's easier to pretend to be my own relative because it explains why I'm there at my own house and all that. Looking for me, essentially. I basically kind of chummy up, and basically because the ranger rogue said nothing the whole time, the guard starts looking at them, and I just go they look at them, and I just say, "Don't mind the lad. He's mute."
Yeah, don't mind him. He's mute. He's totally not a spy. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, pretty much. Don't mind the lad. He's mute. Like, to which, because the player got a little bit overwhelmed with the fact that they were being looked at suspiciously just now. They pretty much went to go say, I'm like, I just turned to them and said, I just said you're mute. Are you sure you want to go with that? To which they then went, oh, okay. Basically, I just went, David. So we then walk off because they got, oh, okay. Because I'm like, so we then go to the I'm distracted by whatever it is you're doing there, Tom.
Fortress in stone sense. So I don't know if I can do this without it crashing. Normally you only see it like this.
Give me a second.
Period and comma.
Yes. Sorry about that. Was getting us about stuff for the house. So you were saying something about fortress and so
Yeah, so normally you see it flat like this,
Mm-hmm.
but DF hack gives you stone sense, which enables you to view it in isometric view. See, they're all carved on the floor. I would have been nuts with the carving actually. Oh, the little pits of animated tails. That's cool.
So yeah, basically, we then go into the library, and my good friend Rosmodius notices me. Like he knew exactly who I was, it, even though I had altered self. I'm just looking at him like, how the fuck do you know who I am? I'm trying to hide here, brother. Like I'm trying to fucking hide here. How do you know who I am? Because I just know. So I give him the lowdown. Instead of you, I just say, yeah, we came here asking about some cursed jaspers. Basically, using the name of the cook in place of the name for the basically instead of rubies. Basically, so that if someone does overhear us, they just think we're looking for cursed jaspers. So unless they're put two and together properly. So there ends up being so basically in the process of walking to find my friend,
Stumbles across a field of holy fanny blossom.
pretty much. Um, I then I randomly pick up a book that has like a mirror on the front and all that. Long story short, there it ends up being a godly relic of the god of beauty.
Oh.
Yep. See, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna like thinking, oh, I'll just pick this up because I'll use it as a prop to go. I'm just looking around, kind of thing. Like I'm looking around for some books. I'm in a library. Be kind of weird for a non-mage to kind of do anything but look at like stuff like I was looking at because it was basically a self-help book. Um, he then notices that I've got this book and goes, "You should put that down right away." I'm like, "Why?" He explains how somebody apparently got over their depression and then suddenly um disappeared. So doing all the process, we find out that it's basically Sun's God of Beauty's um godly relic, basically, and it offers that we can change anything about ourselves. So heck, only question I've really asked is, if I wanted to, can I go from being a human to a dragonborn? And the answer is yes, yes I can. Am I? No, not at the moment. Um, but you basically, in order for us to follow, to see if we can find this guy, or try and figure out the mystery of the book, basically you have to want to change something about yourself. Now, my character, having his wild surges, he very muchly wants to change things about himself. But the fact that he has never wanted to, uh, basically, he wants to fix the issue by his own power. Like, there has been once or twice where a warlock has tried to tempt him. Well, no. He pretty much, his brother got tempted by a warlock. He did not know this until he found out. And when he found out, that's basically what caused the rift between Harm and his brother. Also, long story short, the reason why my surges are so potent is basically because when my twin brother, was in the womb, the warlock made a pact with him, which turned him into and it was a celestial um patron.
Oh, of course.
Yes. Turns out, and as a result, my brother basically became a lunar sorcerer instead of like myself and him would have been a wild sorcerer. Like we just would have been playing regular wild sorcerers otherwise. I'm going with like basically with my brother. I'm going with like a celestial build idea. Like I'm more going themed than going, oh, this is powerful. Although both of those two things are super fucking powerful, especially looking at them together. It- um, so my character has absolutely next to no chance of being swayed by the god of the book, basically. But I have turned to the ranger and said, "Is there anything you want to change?" And about yourself, and also how much I like basically going, look, how likely is it that if you go into this book, you're going to possibly get stuck as well? Because for my character has a thing he wants to change about himself, but it's not something that can be used to tempt him, though. Because he wants to understand why he's got this curse, and if he can either fix or control it. So that is where we ended up. About to dive face first into a book.
Well, good luck.
Oh, look at them all doing work.
I love the mecha Lady Liberties.
I know, they're pretty cool looking. Just goes to show you that an AI can do cool shit.
Yeah, see, doing that, yeah, that's a little unfair. That stuff I can understand artists getting a little bit miffed at. But like making a background or something that you can't get nearly in depth without a complete and utter total amount of skill. Like a super amount of skill. But yeah. So that's how my D&D is currently going.
Sounds fun.
It is so far. It is. Uh but yeah. Uh however, at the same time, like I said, like when I say could almost immediately like, I could go off the rails with some of the things that I could do kind of thing.
Alrighty, guys, get this job done.
Like think about the fact that I ended up with essentially 11 phoenixes. No, 12 phoenixes in a room bombarding just a small thing. Imagine if I say gave, because it is in the like if I used, because I also have an extra attack, I could technically do that twice. So that flock of familiars, I could do twice if I had the resources.
You should do it the next time just to piss everyone off.
Thing is, I know it won't. I only don't do that to not be rude.
It's not rude if it's an advantage.
That noise.
See, I could get a. So, hang on. Let's see. So we got the 3 initial. Then it's a level 2 spell. So yeah, that ends up being 10. So it ends up being 10, and because I can do that, I could technically, and I can hold 2 concentration spells.
You need metal bars, tree. Oh, I don't. I think we're gonna lose this guy. I'll see what I can come up with. Add a new task. Get 100 copper bars. That might lose that till before I already get to it.
I can basically have 16 of them.
The cassowary? What? Oh no, it's just the shape of a cassowary in the picture.
So yeah, essentially I can have 16 of these flying familiars basically as a result. If I did everything correctly.
Let's make a save. A DF.
And also depending on if the things that, because I've never actually bothered asking. Oh, a concentration spell used out of the room. Do I still have to hold concentration on it, or does it just not have concentration aspect? That's not so.
See you, Mum.
In theory, that's another 6. So there's 22, and then I can hold another 5. So there's 27 phoenixes.
Do tracking mode. Okay. Let the game catch up and then we'll see. Finch.
So if I'm asked him if does this spell cast with the runes end up requiring concentration if the spell would normally have concentration? If the answer is yes, I can only have 16. If the answer is no, I can have 27. Also, I'm kind of on the and because of the goblin I befriended, I'm kind of in the way of becoming the Goblin King.
Oh no.
Like, I could. I have a castle that I'm going to turn into a flying fortress.
Do it.
I can, and it's 100% by the rules too. I can then turn that, by technicality, into a spaceship.
Have you ever seen a Jeep, right, from World War II do 110 kilometers an hour?
I have
No,
Where?
think so.
on the internet.
And where on the internet?
It'd be on YouTube, I'm sure.
Yeah, but was it with the original engine?
I have no idea. I wouldn't
Wait,
think so,
how?
but maybe.
Like,
Still,
unless you literally manage to get the perfect, tune the vehicle perfectly.
Remember, those engines are actually quite a beast.
Yeah, but they're more torque than RPM.
yeah, but you can get them up to RPM with modern techniques and modern parts.
Yeah, see, that's then no longer it getting up there with the original engine. That's it getting up there with the special replacement parts.
Which you can get.
Yeah, don't. I honestly thought you meant like no aftermarket parts, just pure skill.
No, no, no. Aftermarket parts are
Oh,
included.
then honestly, that's easy as fucking piss.
Because that's what I plan on doing with my Dodge. I'm going to try and keep it somewhat original, but I'm not going to stray away from getting some modern modifications.
Well, let's be honest. Get a modern engine as get as modern an engine as you can fit into
No,
that thing
no,
as
I want to
possible.
keep the Flathead 6. I want to keep it.
Yeah, keep the Flathead 6, that'll give you all the power you need.
Yeah, I'll push people out of the way on the road.
You know,
There,
modern alternator, that sort of thing, that's good.
You
the
can
reason
get
I was
them for
saying
that.
was for
Thank you, DF Hack. Oh my god, thank you.
Yes,
You're
Jack, you were
finally
saying?
putting rubbish.
the reason I was saying that was actually because of the fact that that way, you can probably save a few dollars on the fuel as well.
Nah, I want to keep it original. I want to keep the engine block because it's rare. You don't see like a World War II flathead export engine.
Honestly, I can respect that.
And plus,
As
it
much,
turns over.
yeah, I saw that. Like, if you can find a way to make it fuel economic or something somehow, like just overall, I'd
Well,
suggest do it because
Petrol or diesel?
petrol.
It's doable. Especially with the older engines.
I
aren't the
know it's
old,
doable.
aren't the older engines better for turning into LPG?
Yes.
So yeah, literally that small modification, and honestly, if you said, look, it's just so that it's that bit cheaper to run, I think most people, even purists, would be like, look, I get it.
Yeah. And even then, what is purist when, it's been rebuilt like 4 separate times? Because that's the interesting thing about it. It's an export model that should have been delivered under Fargo, but never was. It was sent back to Canada and then rebuilt again and then sent off to Australia. And then once it got to Australia after the war, it was rebuilt again.
Also, in other D&D situational news and that, yeah, the OGL seems to be kind of slowly fixing itself.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, I don't know if you know, but D&D's basically been burning from inside
Yeah, I've
out.
seen that.
Like, don't
What's
get me wrong. It was the fact that they if they had said, look, we fucked up, we didn't think it was, we thought it was good. Clearly, you guys don't agree. We fucked up. honestly, they would have been forgiven almost immediately, as long as they sort of fixed up the other one. As long as they fixed it up. It's basically um the whole gaslighting that they did that's fucked off most people. The fact that they're like, "Oh, you were just overreacting."
Bullshit. If they tried doing, they've tried pulling a Games Workshop. You don't recover from that.
Unless you admit that you fucked up, which,
Yeah.
let's be honest, neither company have done. Like, they're only just kind of admitting that they fucked up in the first place. Because basically, now they have rescinded the whole original attempt,
Yes.
and are now adding a draft the version, which is actually a lot more dialed back than it was, but there are a couple things in there that are basically legal speak for you use this, we own your shit.
Yeah, pretty
See now,
much.
and see now that was the biggest issue a lot of them had. That and the fact that um there were see, I do kind of looking at the royalty side of it. I do think that um
Look,
perhaps
it's per
um
it's
the
perfectly
royal
it's perfectly legal for them to do so. Should they do it? Fuck no. Because that would make them assholes in the eyes of everyone. It's literally company reputation suicide.
yeah. See, like I can understand them saying, "Look, we need to update this so that because there are so many people making money off of this that it can be misused. So if we enforce certain things, we might be able to put some checks and balances in."
Yeah, but those checks
And
and balances kill the franchise.
yeah, but when you're talking about $750,000 profit,
Yeah, but where's that $750,000 going in profit? It's going to fan creations, which are continuing to fuel the base company
yeah,
anyway. It's like free advertising.
yeah, but keep in mind that if they did that in a way, um, not only would they get a bit of a boon to the money they already honestly don't even fucking need, but where it's apparently under monetized, which is just legal speak for we want all of the money and not just some of the money.
Yeah, so they want to bake the cake and eat it, and everyone's told them to get fucked, which is reasonable.
Yeah, yeah. See, again, if it was say the 25% on $750,000 worth of pure profit, which it might have been, but chances are they writ it in such a bad way that they were entitled to $750,000, like 25% of $750,000.
Yeah, well, what percentage does it make when you want to just tank your like entire company when you know it's not going to be a good idea? It was just
Yeah,
essentially a bunch of accountants sitting in a bloody boardroom going, "Ah, yes, we can increase profit if we do this."
yeah, and it was so badly done. Like I said, if they had of either made sure that it was only on pure profit, so obviously it's a bit scummy. If they had 10% of pure profit, then they would have made a fuck ton of money.
Like they already don't make enough money as it is. Hell, even if they're making 5%, they're still
Ignoring
doing all right.
ignoring that because ignoring that because by technicality, you use the word Tarash, you use the word Mind Flayer, you use um, certain names of creatures and that um,
Oh, hang
that
on.
aren't.
What the fuck do you want? Hang on. Yes? What is it?
Being
Ah,
in
yeah.
bed.
Oh.
I'll bet it's fine.
Hmm.
Of
See,
course, this is safe right now.
but keep in
Careful
mind,
there. Yeah. Good night. Right, so I'm back now.
yep. So, but keep in mind, like I said, on all of those, then there's the fact that if they were trying to do the 10% checks and like the 10% royalties on like 750, like people would have grumbled, but let's put it this way, it would have made the avenue for people to who are misusing things like the OGL right now, because there are a couple companies and groups of people who are actively misusing it for 100% personal gain because they don't have to report money or anything.
Yeah, but don't you think they could have just dealt with that through DMCAs on an individual level instead of rather
Mm,
putting out this
Tech,
new classification?
technically not with the OGL how it's was before.
Then leave it. It's clearly not damaging the main company. It's clearly not. You
It.
cannot tell me that it is.
I'm not saying that, but if they wanted to, using it as a hey, people who are doing bad things through D&D will now have to report to us so we can now know a bit more about what they are doing. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, but what
Like
are their interests?
So,
it, the end goal is money, but if they had have done it the correct way, their goals that they claim to have been doing, if they had done it, pretty much were just making it so that you had to report your earnings, and after a certain point, maybe then I'd get um royalties. Fine, but at the very least, I do think you should be reporting avenue revenue in that.
Yeah, well, what they should have been done was hiring these fucking people.
Yeah, let's be honest. You were about to say something, Tom? What's that?
I get a word in anyway, so I'm just going to give up.
No, you
Well,
go.
No, it's not happening, so just keep talking.
so yeah, it's just it's blown up in such a bad way. Like there were so many what ifs that if they had done it better in the first place, it wouldn't have gone as bad.
No, because I know what these companies are like. I've had the mispleasure of finding out how they operate. And it's normally just a board meeting of a bunch of accountants going, how can we increase profits this year? And more
Mm-hmm.
so, how can I increase my salary? Please, please, I need an extra $5 in my 100,000 year dollar bank account each year, please. Please, I need the money. I want to go to Barbados, please.
Like while that probably is what's kind of happened. Again, it's not Wizards of the Coast's fault, which is the sad part of the whole situation.
No, it's,
It's Hasbro
well, yeah, it's Hasbro's division. Because they're the ones that basically call the shots.
now. Is that akin a surprise egg under Ambrojo?
Yes? You want to see what it does?
Kind of curious, yeah.
Certain someone had the same idea as me. And he's not listening.
Weapons, damn it. There they come. It
I
shoots
didn't.
random furniture.
You playing it as well? Huh? David's playing it as well.
Oh, this?
Yeah.
Nice.
Um.
Got it.
But like so, this guy's power is legitimately just random shit go.
random furniture and items,
I deploy
Ranks.
chair.
plants, coffins. Pianos.
I want. Is there like a more powerful version of it?
No, I don't think there is.
Like, I'm genuinely
Ooh.
curious if it combines with anything.
There's nothing in the grimoire yet, but I don't know. Maybe I just don't know.
Oh, you mentioned the Grimoire, $10. Come on, cough it up. I want my copyright now. Cough it up. I need that extra $10. I want to go to Barbados, please.
That's got nothing to do with D&D. That's a word
Grim-
in No. 11.
Grimoire is an older thing. Yeah.
Nah, nah, you've still got to pay copyright to the person who owns that.
No, I don't. They're dead.
Yeah.
And it's
they've
been
been.
long enough for it to be out of copyright.
No,
Yeah.
no, no, you're going to still have to pay it to their kids.
Don't make me do it. I will go copyright the word grimoire right now.
You'll get copyrighted right now.
Considering that is 100% a Creative Commons thing at this point.
Not the fact that Tolkien also didn't take inspiration from a lot of certain mythological books.
Yeah, most of them have. They just like we've had the same stories for like the last 2,000 years. I know that's an
Not
Yeah,
wrong.
they literally are. Like, why does this whole copyright bullshit about characters and shit come from? It's like, I drew line, this is my original character. Do you think fucking cavemen thought like this?
That has an upgrade.
Do you actually think that this is, like, a good way to act as a person? Do you? Are you that
I
desperate?
I don't, but
No, exactly, so it's not moral to do so. It shouldn't exist. It's inferior. It's an inferior school of thought.
okay, paying someone who made something and paying someone who created something out of an idea. When it comes to copyright and also patents and stuff like that, two separate types of copyright as a result. But realistically, they do.
There isn't an upgrade for that weapon.
At least not yet.
Ooh, this is a
Not that I'm
Ghostbusters
finding.
car. Oh, that's cool. It's a hearse. Oh.
But in saying that, there, like I said, every um like when it comes to copyright and all that, there's a whole lot of things to deal with, and realistically, whoever came up with the wheel first probably didn't want other people to create their own wheel.
Now, I like to imagine they fought like a giant fuck-off war for it.
That's actually possible.
This is
Like,
my creation and you're not allowed to touch it.
It's entirely possible. We have pretty much always been greedy as fuck.
As well, unga bunga, you don't make.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Unga bunga.
It's a
But-
term Australians use, and it's illegal on Disney, apparently.
Oh yeah,
Unga
by the way,
bunga.
what do you think about Disney basically taking
Unga
away...
bunga. See, isn't Unga bunga because there was like that weird show or something where it was actually called Unga bunga?
Yes, yes, it was the case.
Like, why is that not allowed on Disney?
No, Disney was taking
Ask them why you're not
away...
allowed to have French people either.
Oh, you
Or
probably can't have.
redheads. We can't
Probably
have
can't
redheads.
have Koreans either.
No, so
But the
Right.
phrase you're referring to is booga booga, and there was a massive legal battle over it because one of the characters in the TV show Bluey said it, and someone got upset because it sounded racist.
Oh
That was
my
Unga Bunga.
god.
Unga Bunga, Ooga Boogie Boogie and Ooga Booga
Well, I mean,
sounds too
look,
similar
look.
that they probably and
It's a bunch of white Australians. Okay, they always get upset about
Oh,
these
more taking
things.
it from the meme I like to see. Insert logic here. There you got a picture of a caveman. Divorced Unga Bunga.
mm, but
Club smacking immediately.
see, I bet you they wouldn't. They'd have a hard time having Korean shows as well.
Well, we know how
Another
sexist
fun
the
fact.
Koreans are, as well as all of Asia.
Yeah, Tom.
So the show had an Armenian family and a French family. They censored out the French family.
What? Why?
They pulled the episode, removed the French family. They just don't exist anymore. But the Armenians, they're okay.
What the French? Like, what's wrong with having French?
I don't know.
Like,
I can't.
Oh
I'm
wait,
technically French.
I know. I think I might know. It's because the French military or government was ended up supporting something about like Armenian genocide or whatever it was. I think that was because of it.
like and in that case, no, that's fucking stupid because okay, so we're not allowed to have French people in our movies and TV shows, all because one dickhead thinks something's okay,
Yeah, yeah,
even
pretty
if it's
much.
not.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
See, I could actually get behind them not wanting Koreans, um,
South or North Koreans?
South.
Nothing wrong with South Koreans. They've a world civilization population.
No, it's because of how they were, how it, like me and every other person, when they refer to you, the word in Korean for you,
Oh, yeah, I know why. Yeah, is Niga or whatever it's called.
ni ga.
Yeah, Niga, which is hello in Korean.
No. It is you.
Or you or whatever.
It is legitimately you.
So, oh my god, I can't believe they're so racist. Well, let's be real, they kind of are.
No, I, I actually no.
What's the
South
color
Korea,
black?
Negro.
Yeah.
Like it's
Nico, Nico,
legitimately in Spanish. Like the number of people who I've seen go, "Oh, now that's just racist," and like, not. It's not, all you need to do is understand basic Spanish
Yeah,
as
but
well.
most people in the West are uneducated, backwater caravan people.
Yeah, it boggles the mind. They're like, I'm not racist. It
Well,
okay, so
I'm sorry, you come
I'm
from
not
Port Pirie, you're a backwater person, you have to acknowledge this fact.
okay. Technically, I don't come from Port Pirie. I just happened to be there on my way to Adelaide, just because I was stuck there for like a good couple of years. Um, but yeah, where was going with that?
Climbed up like that. Should be okay.
No, I can't afford this other car. This is sad.
But yeah,
Oh,
that's what I was trying to say. I'm not racist. Oh, your language has a word that sounds like a slur. You are bad.
Well, I mean, yeah, people have been trying for a long time. A lot of like the social justice movement started in countries like Spain and South America, mostly down to the fact that they actually do have a lot of words in their language that are very non-savory. I'll put it that way. I'll put it
Yeah,
that way.
that well, yeah, that might be the case, but most of them aren't. But the thing is, it's like using that word, even if it's another language. Like there are a couple other situations like that.
there's tons. Look at Dutch. Can't say cut in Dutch.
Yeah, what does that mean in Dutch?
Cunt.
Or you cut.
Like,
Yeah, pretty much.
Oi, he's
My
a
God,
cut.
that's
I can't
extremely
believe
powerful.
him.
but I have actually heard stories of Koreans and that getting beaten up because there was that because they used that word, like literally the word for you, and they've gotten the shit kicked out of them because of it.
Good.
Go hang around Virginia for a bit and see all the Vietnamese. It's fun.
No, I know there was this one story on.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna lie, there have been times where I've heard my um uncle, like my basically my uncle's, my aunt's parents talk,
Oh no.
and basically I go, "What are you saying? What was that?" But like but then I realized, oh wait, wait. Then I go, hang on, because I react to the word because